Hi, I'm Sue Butcher, and this video we're going to use to talk about how social media can support BIM knowledge sharing and learning. Now, BIM is an enormous topic. It's a very new topic. It's going to be, and already is, a huge disruptor in our industry, and lots of people have misunderstandings about it and need to learn about it. There are also an awful lot of acronyms, and there's a small group of people with a lot of knowledge and the vast majority of people in our industry who don't have enough. So how are we going to make that knowledge more shared? Well, the really good way of doing that is to use the internet because it is efficient, it allows people to find things really easily, and you can also now with social have conversations about that subject. One of the problems with a topic like BIM is that there's an awful lot of information. And how do you find the information that you need? Well, the key element of that with the internet, of course, is we can use search. We can use search to narrow down to the specific information that we're looking for. So if we want to share our knowledge, it's really important that we create content that's easy to find via search. And one good way of doing that is using blogging, because blogging is a process of making regular new content on a website, and the advantage of that is that Google really loves new content. So if you write about your expertise, if people are writing about it, not only does it help them demonstrate their credibility, but it also allows them to share things with a larger audience, and those people can find it via search. So why would people publish content on the internet? Well, one of the things that social media does is it attracts people who are interested in helping other people to learn. They're interested in sharing. And sharing is a big part of the entire process of social media. All the things that you hear about, like retweets and likes, they're all about process of telling other people about something else. There's a great community of sharing online, which the blogging community is in a way a very original example of that. People writing content, other people commenting or writing their own blog posts to add value to those. And there's a process of interlinking those things, which again is very good for the internet. So if you find one thing that people are talking about, you often find that people have commented on it or they've linked through to something else, and then you find another group of people, and in no time at all you've got into a community of people who are talking about the topic that you're interested in. A good example of this is hashtags, and a particular hashtag on Twitter called the UK BIM crew. But first of all, what's a hashtag? A hashtag is if you have a word or an abbreviation and you put a hash symbol in front of it, then it becomes clickable to a search for that term, for that hashtag as it's called, which means that if you use a hashtag in a tweet, like we're using for these videos, we're using social BIM. If you use a hashtag, you see that hashtag anywhere on Twitter or even on Facebook or somewhere else on the internet, and you can click on it. You can then find all the other things that have been shared by anybody using the same tag. We can take that and look at the example of the UK BIM crew hashtag, which was created originally for a group of people who are going to a conference in America to keep in touch with the UK people who are at that conference. So it's for a very specific purpose, but it's turned into something altogether different. It's turned into a place where you can find useful, helpful people who are interested in the UK in talking about BIM. So if you go on Twitter and you search for UK BIM crew, you'll find lots of people sharing things with that group of people. And of course you can set up a search for that term, and then you can subscribe if you like to that search, and then you can see all of those things that people are sharing. And lots of really useful, helpful people are doing that. So if you are on Twitter and you tweet, I need to know something about the common data environment, or I need to learn about this particular piece of software, and use the hashtag UK BIM crew, you immediately share that with a group of really useful, helpful people, and people will pick that up, maybe not straight away, but maybe later, and they'll come back to you with some answers, some suggestions, or maybe some other questions. The sort of interactions we've been talking about so far often happen in a public environment. So Twitter is almost entirely a public realm. So you might not necessarily want to participate in that public realm. You might not certainly want to have such conversations, but that's absolutely fine, because you can be what they call a lurker, and you can just go and see what people are talking about and then go and check them out elsewhere, maybe Google their name or look up the topic more or follow a link, find a phone number, pick up the phone and talk to them. You don't have to do everything in public. You can take stuff offline anytime you want, and of course that's really useful, because if the phone is a more useful tool to you, or if email is a more useful tool, use that tool and just use social when it's appropriate. Okay, here's a perfect example. You're now watching this video on YouTube for free. So I'm sharing some of my knowledge with you. And YouTube, you might not think about it, but it's one of the largest social networks. It's particularly popular with younger people, and it's become very common for people to have conversations in the comments section under YouTube videos. So it's also even a blogging platform as well. So think about the fact that you're using YouTube now, and think about the knowledge that's been shared with you and who else needs that knowledge and who you could share it with. How can you participate in this community that we're developing here? And also there's some other things that you might think about doing. So for example, where is your level of expertise when it comes to BIM? What do you know about? What have you learned about that you could write about yourself and you could share with other people? And also, what do you want to know about? What do you need to learn about? Think about whether you could Google those topics. Whether you find people having those conversations and you can join those conversations. And if there are things you want us to talk about, or the B1M generally to make videos about, why not put them in the comments below. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any questions or comments or things you want us to talk about, put them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you really like the video, please share it with a friend. Thanks very much.